Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled People. In today's episode, truck driver butt hurt because I parked in front of him. Customers demanded to be served while we were evacuating the building due to a fire. Entitled parent says free ride not good enough. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Truck driver butt hurt because I parked in front of him. I was looking for a spot to park in a small downtown area by the shop I wanted to go to. There was a space right out front, so I parallel parked. Well, the guy in the massive pickup truck parked behind me immediately honked at me. I was busy grabbing coins for the meter and I couldn't initially tell it was directed at me. He then dramatically spent a full minute trying to pull out of the spot, backing up, turning his wheels over and over. He finally got out and pulled up alongside me. He rolled down his window, but because his car was twice the height of mine, I couldn't even see him, and yelled "Park right next time." Then peeled off, for about 100 feet, or he had to abruptly stop at an intersection. I got out of my car and double-checked to confirm I was easily within the designated boundaries of my parking space. Maybe don't park your massive truck in a small space if you don't know how to handle it. That's why pickup trucks shouldn't be taken into cities. Them be country vehicles. If that were to be enforced, about 80% of the people in my city would be without a vehicle. As my friend would say, looks like your vehicle is larger than your skill set. I'm going to have to remember this one. It's excellent. You should have told him to add parking his truck to the list of things he shouldn't try in a small town. Customers demanded to be served while we were evacuating the building due to a fire. My workplace recently had a small fire which was contained quickly thanks to the response from the emergency services. We could smell smoke, so we called the fire services and immediately began to evacuate the building. But customers waiting in line didn't seem to think our safety was more important than them being served. One customer in particular tried to demand that we serve him and refused to leave. My manager straight up told him that he can stay if he really wants to, but we are all leaving because the building is on fire. We managed to get everyone out, but then once outside everyone was complaining that we were closed. Man, this reminded me of when I worked in a fast food restaurant in Edinburgh years ago. We had a grease fire start in the kitchen, a literal pillar of fire, and obviously alarms went off and we started evacuating. We had 2 floors. I was in charge of the second floor that day and started guiding people to the emergency exit. But some people refused to leave. They were like, "We've paid for the food, we're eating it." Like, dude, take your tray with your 3-pound meal with you, I don't care, just get out. I'm not staying to wait for you. Idiots. The entitled customer mindset honestly baffles me. I wonder what reaction you might have gotten with a small notepad and pencil. Give them the notepad and pencil and ask them to print their name on it. When they ask why, just tell them so that the person doing the autopsy on them will know who they were. Then walk out. So funny. When he demands hot sauce, he means it. Should have throat punched him then. Quick over here, he's inhaled smoke. Moahaha. Entitled parent says free ride not good enough. Happened a couple of years ago. New family moved in, couple doors down with son the same age as my youngest. We live in the boondocks 3 kilometers from nearest school bus stop. All parents drive their kids to the stop and wait in the car until bus comes. There are no streetlights, with bears and cougars. After a while we got to be friendly, even though the mom was loud and spoke aggressively. The rest of my family didn't like her, and we discussed our transportation plans. I am lucky enough to have a brother with a disability who takes my kids to the bus when my husband and I work. My neighbor, Ian, entitled neighbor, asked if my brother would consider picking up her son, as well, on the way by, and she would pay him $20 per month. He agreed and was feeling pretty proud of having a job. 2 months later, he told me that she then offered more pay, $40 per month. He was very pleased about that. Being in the boonies, we had to drive down their very dark narrow driveway, then turn around in a very small area in front of their house, to go back out. Was difficult. If my brother wasn't feeling well, other family members took driving duty and picked up the other child. No matter what, our whole family was happy to help my brother with his job. Sometimes the child was sick and they didn't let us know. Sometimes he was still asleep and we were waiting. Sometimes the parents were even at home and they didn't take their own child. The parents always left earlier and the child, around 8 to 10 years, was left alone until we arrived for pickup. This went on for almost 2 years. The second year she contacted us and offered to bring over a cheesecake at Christmas time to thank my brother. I said that was very kind, but she didn't have to. I'm sure my brother would like it. I can't eat dairy, but very kind. She said non-dairy. I said again, not necessary but a kind thing. She never brought over anything, not even a card. My brother got no contact from her directly to be thanked at all. So one day I get a text from the EN that she wasn't happy with her son riding in our work truck to and from the school bus. That there were tools that had to be moved over so he could sit. I was flabbergasted. We all live on a steep hill, so having a big truck with 4x4 is the safest vehicle we owned. Snow/ice/rain, you name it. The drive took less than 10 minutes, so what if we had to push tools out of the way so he could sit? I was fuming over her presumption when I had a conversation with my brother about her paying you $40 per month, and he told me that she only paid him twice or maybe 3 times, then a few years, can't remember exactly, the whole time. And never paid him $40 at all, it was the $20 payments. I was furious that he hadn't mentioned it before and that she had been taking advantage of the whole family for almost 2 years. Our family had bent over backwards for this child. Even if my own child wasn't going to school, we would get up and go get the neighbor's child. So I texted the EN. So I just talked to my brother and he told me you have only paid him 2 or 3 times this last 2 years. Can you please explain? I'm confused. The agreement was $20 per month, then you offered $40. What's going on? Ian, I can't remember her exact words, but no apology, no offer of payment, and I offered to bring you a cheesecake at Christmas, but you said you didn't want one. I didn't say that, I said she didn't have to. Me, humble country person, I fully expected her to bring one. I then told her we were, under no circumstances, going to continue this way. I said payment had to be made, we had to be given notice if child not going to school, that he had to meet us at the top of his driveway instead of battling down their drive, that if parents were home, they took him and we still were going to be taking our work truck most of the time. I didn't want to deal with that family anymore, so I just said every demand that I could think of, knowing her personality would blow up. Ian, he'll, her child, get picked up at our door if I say he's going to be picked up at our door. I know there was no way that they were going to back pay the fees, as they were constantly complaining about money. So I said, well, this is not working for us, so you will have to make other arrangements as we will no longer be driving your son. So consider the last 15 months, excluding summer/Christmas breaks, etc., a gift from our family to yours, and we'll just leave it there. Ian, how are we supposed to get our son to the bus? We need someone to drop him off and pick him up at the end of the day? We will be at work. Why are you being such a hard ass? I ignored her and blocked her. Didn't speak to her family for years. I was furious at her outrageous entitlement. My friend said it best, what pisses me off the most is people who get something for free, then feel entitled to it for free, then complain that what they are getting for free isn't good enough for them anymore. The family changed their son's school to back to the private school he had before that was closer to their work. Oh my gosh, that's absolutely infuriating. It really was. I couldn't believe it. Was so furious. They could pay for private school but not $40 a month for someone to take him to public school? Small claims court will solve that problem in no time. It is 5:12 in the morning and I am not witty enough to express my emotions at reading this. Just. Arg. That's awful. I wish your brother had said something sooner. That is not fair that they took advantage of him. He was doing them a favor. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.